Abu Jebran.
Okay, good luck.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the webinar of the CovHack. I will wait for a couple of minutes until the audience start to pile up. So we just need to like 1 or 2 minutes only. I remind everyone to have their sound on mute. Speakers, please have your videos on. Good afternoon. Welcome to the CovHack webinar in conversation with the CovHack winners towards a circular food economy. This session will be broadcasted live on YouTube, where you can watch it on Innovate for Good channel. My name is Ara Fernezian. I'm the founder and CEO of Stratasys and Innovate for Good. The agenda for today, we're going to have 5 minutes of introduction about the speakers, and then we're going to have about 35 minutes to 40 minutes in conversation with them, and then you're going to have all 20-minute Q&A live session. So the speakers we have for today, they are as well the winners of the CovHack Challenge. Kirill Zelenski from iFarm Finland, who won the first place on the startup category. Arwa Lutfi from Palmco, UAE. She won on the teams category. Javier Laragiotti from Zilinat, Mexico, who took the second place on the startup category. And Haysam Riyahi from Circa Biotech, UAE, who took the second place in teams category. I will put out now the screen so we can have the discussion going forward. Today, I'm going to quote something that I read recently, and I would like that to pass it around. This was quoted by the Unilever Chief Procurement Officer, Dave Ingram, saying that today around 2 billion people globally are overweight, nearly 1 billion people go to bed hungry, while 1/3 of all food produced is lost or wasted. Producing and consuming food is exhausting the earth resources and fueling the climate crisis. At the same time, the COVID-19 pandemic is reminding us all of the importance of a resilient food supply chain. Everyone, everywhere, deserves access to good food, but for people to get their fair share, the world's food system needs to change. I will start the discussion today with this term, the world food needs to change. But before that, we need to speak a little bit more about our entrepreneurs here, which each one of them, they have a different experience in the entrepreneurial journey. I will start with Kirill, who's been about 10 years, at least in the entrepreneurial life, who started before as an employee and then decided to move forward on something that you always wanted to do. Kirill, what was your entrepreneurial journey and experience, and how everything started?
Everything started when I left Nokia as employee and started to think what I should do next. And I was with good experience, and many people were trying to get help of me how to make mobile strategy, what to do in this world in IT. And then I moved to other fields, started to work as entrepreneur in security space, which was surprisingly for me, it was just accidental. And also it was while I was still having, being employed. So it was very good experience and new experience, and I wanted it actually.
Amazing. What about you, Javier? What do you tell us about your journey a bit?
It's very recent, so I started 3 years ago after
finishing my master's. Previous to that, I used to work for different companies like Unilever or BASF. And I started because I received the news that my dad was diagnosed with diabetes. And right away, I committed myself to create a solution for that problem. So that's why that was my personal motivation. And that's why I'm still in that journey.
Amazing. What about you, Arwa?
Honestly, to be 100% frank, I have no prior experience whatsoever. None of us in the team have any experience. But this is a challenge for us, and we're ready to tackle it down. Just like by being open-minded, and we're ready to take all the knowledge that we can, and we're gonna tackle every problem we have, inshallah. Just like how in our pitch deck, when we had just 1 hour of mentorship, we were able to perfect our pitch deck. So just like that, I believe we can tackle any problem that comes to face us.
We'll come to that point. Haitham, tell us your entrepreneurial journey and experience.
Actually, we are a team of three, and the three of us, we are still having, let's say, a side job, a day job, a hustle job, as you said. So this didn't prevent us from trying to create a company and to go into the entrepreneurship. By the way, two of us in the team, this is our second startup that we are initiating. So it's maybe a message to the people that are hearing us and they are still having a job. This will never prevent you from doing another thing in the side. Don't wait to quit your job or to be redundant to start something else.
Amazing. So this is a quick intro about you and your experience so far. So Kirill, because you are maybe you have built a bit more mature business, what do you say to all the young startups and young entrepreneurs today who are listening to you about whether it's a good idea to be an entrepreneur, or what is the overall experience that you have that you can share it with us from the challenges that you have faced, and as well as on the benefits that you have taken over the years?
Okay. First of all, yes, there is good and bad things, and I would not start again to be entrepreneur probably if it would be possible. But from other side, it's many good things and a lot of freedom, and you are doing what you wanna do. So it's very good. If I would be asked to give a tips, I would say that okay, first be ready for challenges and stresses, especially financial. Just be ready. Second is always ask for help, because many people can help you while you're small, while you're a startup, and anyway. And third is don't be arrogant and think about people who depends on you, because it's always when you start your business, you need more people to help, and then people need you. So I would say this way.
I see. Tell us about a particular challenge you faced that you still remember it till now. That maybe this is one of the things that, because of you didn't give up, it helped you move forward, knowing that you have a very good business, by the way.
It's always, first of all, yes, it's always about money. You have to always think to where you put your own money, to your family or your education or your business. You always have to find a balance. And even if there is no money, you have to trust what you are doing to continue. Otherwise you will just give up and you stop. Probably it's already almost done, but you stop. So just believe in yourself and do it again. I would say it's most important thing. And then all the challenges are about money, knowledge, and time.
How many people you are in your company now?
Today in our company, overall in group of companies, it's about 60 people working.
Amazing. So
I try not not fire anyone, just hiring.
Why did you select the food business?
Oh, it's because first of all, everyone need to eat, and second, it was part of my dream, and I found that okay, I can make this planet better and food better, because we didn't find good food during winter season in supermarkets, and that was challenge for us, because we were uh, you know loving to prepare food and to eat, but then we didn't found good one vegetables in supermarkets, and then we said, okay, we have to do something with it. We have to have a food grown in our own houses and automatically, but we didn't know how to grow it. Then we created the system.
So what is the total revenue your company is doing today?
Last year we got about 630 kilo euro during the year. This year I'm in about 4 millions.
4 million. So, this is something that when you start to build traction, this is where most of startups, they fail. In your opinion, how much did sales and marketing play the role in your business? And how did you actually, do you have a sales team? Do you sell yourself? How does it actually work?
It's interesting. We have a sales team, but it's very small. It's just to respond to requests, because we got already more requests than we can fulfill. So we cannot build so many farms as requested and demanded. In most of cases, our marketing and people know about us exactly after this kind of challenges like COVID. So it was very interesting, because right after we won this one, we got about 10 requests from Middle East already.
So
And
COVID,
yeah,
COVID played a big advantage to you, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And this CovHack as well. So every challenge we won, and every let's say accelerator and conference we participate in, we got more and more attention. So we not even need right now sales team. Yeah, we need them, but just to respond for orders.
I see. Javier, what about you? How you see your business going today? Did you start making money yet? How do you see, because you have a very interesting product, maybe for the ones who didn't know more about what you have innovated, please give us like shortly about what did you do so far, and how much revenue your company is able to generate so far, in case you are capable, if you generated something so far, and where do you see yourself going moving forward?
Sure. So for people to know, what we do is we created a biotechnological and patented process to transform agricultural waste into a sugar substitute that is the only one that tastes identical to sugar and also benefits the health of the consumers. We started selling in 2019, so last year we generated a revenue for $50,000. We were able to sell and produce 1 ton of our product. And this year we actually were able to triplicate our production capacity. So we already produced 3 tons and we are in the process of selling them. So we expect to generate about $150,000 of revenue. And so we're currently working in our biggest challenge, which is the technological scale up. We're still doing everything on a lab scale. So we're working on giving the next step, which is moving to a pilot plant facility. So in 5 years, I would say I see that our project will have the first plant installed for ourselves, our first industrial facility. And with that, fulfilling the goal of starting to export our product to different parts of the world. Today, we only sell in Mexico.
So who made the first order, and how did it happen actually?
It was a whole mess.
I always like to hear the first sales, how it happened. This is one of my best stories actually.
So because we had a limited production capacity, we decided that the first channel for selling was going to be our website. So in December 2018, we created our website and we created the online store inside of it. I think we use WooCommerce for that version. And we open up to the public. We had a lot of engagement in our social media, and we believed that with that what we were going to create our first clients. But to be honest, the first 2 days, nobody bought the product. So we started paying some adverts on Google, paying some adverts on Facebook until the first client appeared, which was a person from Mexico City that is today still our regular client, and she uses it because her husband has diabetes.
Okay. Do you have any investors so far? Did anyone invested in your business, or is still money that you gathered from friends and family?
So no investors. We plan to open our seed round at the end of this year. Like 20% of the money that we have used has come from friends and family, and the rest has come from different international grants.
Grants. So not going into an investor money, is it something to do with your confidence towards whether you can raise the money? Is it to do with the market conditions? Is it to do with your experience being maybe the first time? How do you explain it?
I think it has more to be with one of the challenges that we faced. So our first patent, we made all the research with a private university in which I was a student here in Mexico City. And for some reason, that first patent was owned by that university, and they didn't want to make like any licensing to us. So pretty much we lost that patent. So looking money from investors in a moment in which we were not able to sell anything, we lost our patent, and we were still on a lab space, was not very promising for us to have a good deal. So that's why we started applying to as many international grants as we could for finding our pre-seed round. And now, in this moment, we are ready for having a contact with VCs.
That's good, because we see more often two scenarios. One, people, they put a lot of money on a prototype without checking whether it's going to work or not, so they lose a lot of money. I did one mistake like this before, which I was so confident about the idea that I had. So I invested over $25,000 on something that I believed, and I worked in an industry that I believe people are going to use it, but actually it didn't work. Not because of it didn't work because of not being market fit or no, acceptable in the market as well, because I didn't have enough money to spend on marketing and sales. So I put all the money on the technology, but I didn't have enough money to sell and market the product. And I think this is one of the mistakes that most of us we do, that we put because we're good in technically we're good, we put our money in the technological part, and we forget that there should be a money as well aside for actually making it work. And I agree with you, having your website, and it's very good from your end to think about selling the product and having a website for it, which is already a channel that you are promoting. I'll go from here to Haytham. Haytham, you told me earlier that what you're doing with Circa Biotech is a side hustle, and you are doing it as an extra job for you to generate a new income or to follow something that you love. Did you actually start selling what you're doing, or is still you are on an exploration phase?
Actually, we didn't. And that's why we are now part of Catalyst program in order to start with our pilot plant. So it's heavy production, so it requires equipment, machinery, and industrial space that we cannot have like on a small level. So we are having the plan in 12 to 18 months to be able to sell our products. So produce first and then sell our products.
Can't you do like what Javier did? Start to have a lab, small lab, and
actually
then
it's
website and start promoting it, and then you see whether your MVP is working before going into a factory and so on.
Actually, it's in parallel. So there is some R&D that we are doing because we will be having a patent on some aspects of the transformation. Second, Javier product is completely innovative. So it's completely new. He's the first one who's doing it. In our case, there's already companies and industry that are producing. So there's around 50 companies worldwide that they are farming insects for animal feed and much more for human consumption. So it's a little bit different. Another aspect that is different is the customer. So our model is B2B. So we are selling to companies that they will use our protein in order to produce animal feed. So the channel that we will be using will be different. Definitely we will need market validation and we will need money for marketing, but maybe not Facebook ads as it is the case when you are having consumer as customers.
I see. Arwa, you and your team, you did a very fantastic job, and being students, and especially that you are all girls as well, which is something we don't always see, especially in our part of the world. Your age group and your motivation and inspiration. Tell us about how everything started, how you as a team, you could come together to form this. What was the challenges as a team, being a young team you never worked with together before? Can you tell us a bit about how everything started and why you decided to pursue on a food related or packaging or waste management related topics, and how everything is blending up well, because I think, guys, you're doing some good work here.
First of all, I want to say that everyone in this world just inspires to be a hero. We really want to help the environment in whatever way we can. So my peer here, Shahad, she was the one who came up with the idea to participate in the CovHack and make a team. She can tell you more about it.
Hello, Shahad.
Hello.
Shahad, before you start, you have a very excellent way, by the way, in presentation. And I think your style and confidence during the pitch made a big difference. And I congratulate you for the talent that you have in presenting an idea that you seem so confident, as if you've been doing it forever. And this is what, tell us.
Thank you. So how this started is that we participated in a program called Sustainability Ambassadors, and we were all like part of it, and they sent us this email saying, oh, like we have a competition about CovHack, do you want to join? And then we started like asking teams if like we can join them, and we faced a lot of challenges in creating the team because a lot of people like already had their team. So we just formed our own, and I'm actually really happy with the team that we have because we each have like a specific set of like soft skills that made us special. Like one girl would do the video, another girl like would design the product, and another girl like would write and would edit, and we would collaborate together. I think what motivated us to join is our love and passion towards these environmental issues. We want to find solutions because like we are the future generation. Of course, we want the next generations and our generations to have a future. We don't want to ruin our planet. And I think Mother Nature is like the main source of inspiration. Like the fact that we thought about, oh, we're going to like choose palm trees to like use in our packaging. We wanted a solution that's going to be sustainable, feasible in the UAE, applicable. We're using utilizing the fact that we have an advantage in the UAE that palm trees are like so abundant. And I think like teamwork made like everything like work and come together. And yeah, this is our story. Like we never actually thought that we're going to win, but this winning made us like believe in ourselves and boosted our confidence. Like each one of us now knows her place, knows that it's fine, even if we're like 16 or 17. Like if we have an idea, we have to believe in it. And I think also something that helped us was us being curious. We love learning. We love learning from new people, asking questions. It's just a process of trial and error. And this is what made us, I think, like win. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Shahad, where do you see Palmco in 5 years?
Oh, interesting question. I think by that time, inshallah, we would have our own company running. We'd have like our products, like our packaging used in like Carrefour and like these grocery shops. I think like this idea could actually happen, and we could actually create a product that every person can like use, and it's going to be like sustainable and all of these things. Like we also have like future thoughts about this project and how we're going to enhance it, how we're going to make it like biodegradable, and how we can like we like thought about some ideas of, oh, we can actually make it and like our next step would be in we would make it like bird, like we can feed this biodegradable packaging to birds in order to like continue this cycle of like sustainability.
Kirill, do you use any packaging for selling your products, or it actually goes directly without packaging?
No, actually, it goes without packaging. Only now we started to think about supplying ready-made farms like in containers, which is farm itself already packaged for farm. So when we build it inside containers, but we just started to supply it by request of private persons, exactly due to coronavirus. But before that, it was just, you know.
Do you see an
That's fine.
opportunity working with Panko team to take the waste of the stuff that you're doing, and they can make it as a packages for you? And
Yeah, actually, it's possible. Why not? Very interesting. We're always welcome to new ideas, which is not just show, but even makes our farms more innovative and kind of save more, you know.
what about you, Javier? Do you think that the packages you're doing for the sugar that you are creating, is the packaging biodegradable as well? Do you use sustainable products for your stuff?
So this second package was designed with some sustainability principles. It's not completely biodegradable because a biodegradable component will not have the sufficient humidity barrier that we needed for this sugar substitute, but it's completely recyclable, and we avoided to use black ink, which we learn is something that makes it harder for recycle a printable material. So we avoided that at all costs. And we also make like continuous campaigns on social media for teaching our consumers how they can properly recycle our packaging as well.
Haitham, when you had the meeting with your investors with Catalyst, what was the best learning for you? For Javier, he didn't meet investors yet because he might start end of the year. Arwa and the team never did. I don't know if Kirill, you had investment rounds before. What do you tell us, Haitham, about your first? I don't know if it was your first experience actually to meet investors and to pitch your idea to them. So, what was the freeze moment? Like, aha, you know, like I don't have the answer for that.
Actually, it's not my first experience, and I think every discussion with any investor or every person that is outside what you are doing is a plus. But I think I will let Christine talk more about this aspect because what we are in the stage that we are today. We were literally for the last 5 months progressing every day with everyday new ideas and new things to implement and new aspect to think about that we were not thinking about. I think she will give a better feedback on that.
Hello,
Christine.
Yes, hi. Can you rephrase your question again about our experience with Catalyst? Is that your question about our experience with Catalyst?
Actually, with investors in general. I mean, when you meet investors, because Haitham said this is not your first experience with investors, I just wanted to know when you first time do it, what is the experience and what do you expect to see and what actually happens and what is the learning? But first, tell us a bit about you first. Who are
Okay,
you?
so
What do you do? Your
yeah,
background?
so so I'm part of Circa Biotech, and the three of us, as we said many times, where it's a side hustle. It's one of the things we picked up outside of our day jobs. Previously, I was in healthcare. I was a pharmacist. Then I went on to do strategic consulting. Then eventually, I was like, okay, this is not satisfying enough in terms of being good to nature, and also thinking of being sustainable in the future. It's not what you can find in the daily job that you would work for a big corporation, I would say. So that's how we came about, and thought that we needed to do something more, and that's how the idea came about. And for your question on how, I would say maybe how I realized when approaching investors or anyone outside of the circle of what we're working on, the most important thing is to come up to make very how to say clear, precise presentation, and have a good understanding of what your business is, and how can you convey it in a simple and structured manner to your investors and people outside the circle. Because I think what we're doing now is quite
I think the line is not clear with Christine.
and not as easily understandable.
Is it me or the line is interrupted?
I think the line is cutting. I don't know, but
Sorry.
I
Can you hear me now? Is it
I
better?
can tell you.
I think my
Oh,
connection's a bit
she's
down.
back.
I think, Christine, you can put your video off if you want, just to hear you
Okay,
better.
maybe, yeah. Let me. So yes, I was saying.
I think there is a disruption here of the line with Christine. Let us jump, please, to another topic in here. You know that there is a lot of business angels nowadays growing up in our regions, and this is something that all of us need to consider over time. And from my end, I just want to put a little bit of tips on that side. When you work with business angels or angel investors, there is something that we need to all realize. You as Arwa, Javier, or most of startups, that you are still on an early stage on your venture, and as well Haytham. You know, there are three factors I always believed in that we should always consider. One, that your idea should be unique and you should have a competitive advantage. You should always find a window of opportunity on the timing when to launch it. This is very, very important. And number three, you should have your numbers. You need to memorize your numbers, and you should be able to prove you can scale your venture and you have the numbers to back it up. This is what most investors will look at. Nobody cares in the beginning about whether you're making profit or no. Profit is not really important. As far as you're making a venture that has a future profits and future earnings. Kirill, have you met any angel investors before? Have you worked with them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, we have about 10 angels on board.
Tell us,
right now.
tell us about that. I like to hear about this.
Actually, first one appears when we just started about 2 years ago, and it was friends who were also investors, and they believed in idea, and they also put it money. So our first money was from family and from angel investors, and then also VC investors comes on the board. So now we have already 4 VC on the board, and we just closed the seed round in 4 millions.
That's amazing. So how was your first experience with investors? What was your aha moment? Like, you know, you freeze and you don't know how to answer, and it made you maybe lose a business or lose a deal, or?
You know, actually, it was very positive experience. First one was maybe most easiest experience. You know, we got with investors, because now it's become more and more difficult to speak with investors. But first ones, it was just easy because they were friends. They liked the idea from the beginning, and they said, "Okay, we have money, just put it."
So angel investor, they ask for equity in return, or they just
some of them yes, some of them they just asked us as convertible loan. So it's we have different variants.
So what do you see today? If you're going to speak with angel investors, what do you tell them, especially in the Middle East region here?
Actually, okay, I will tell them that we need even not money, but we need their knowledges of the situation in region. When it's like with VC is the same. We can help them to return money later, of course, because we are growing. It's very good, and it's food and food security, etc. But also we need from them not just money, because it's very easy to get the money. We need a friendship. We need the contacts, networks. We need their experience in region.
Javier, what is the one of the most important challenges that you think your business will face? And what do you expect from enablers to support you? How to support you? Enablers being investors, mentors, platforms like I4G or incubators. What is it that the one thing that you think it may be a big burden or an obstacle in your venture? And where is it the most number one priority you have today in front of you?
So I think the biggest challenge will be pricing. If we really want our product to be as successful as we are dreaming of, we have to close the gap between the price of our product and the price of sugar, which is relatively complicated because in some countries, sugar production is subsidized, so they don't pay taxes for that. And what we expect from, partnerships or mentors that could help us in our journey is to find the expertise of bringing something to lab into an industrial scale and then being able to commercialize that. We are a group of novice entrepreneurs that are trying to do that by themselves, which is fairly complicated. Working for BASF, for example, the largest chemical company, I remember that 80% of the projects that were successful on a lab scale, they never make it to an industrial scale. So we are very focused in tackling that challenge, which is our technological scale-up.
Do you have a timeline for that?
We expect that to happen in 2 years. So we're giving 1 more year to do all the scale-up trials on pilot plant facilities, and then another year for scaling up to an industrial facility.
Did COVID created a problem for you? I mean, Kirill, COVID, it was an opportunity for their business because I think their business was spot on and what people wanted. What about yours?
So it boosted our sales. We still sell mainly through online channels. So Amazon, Mercado Libre, which is a similar platform for Latin America, and our website. So we increased our sales, but as we were renting a lab facility inside a university, we stopped having access to that laboratory. So we haven't been able to produce a new batch in the last 3 months for the pandemic.
I think this is one of the supply chain issues we're going to face. I mean, this is what Kirill, what you do today is quite unique, that you can create autonomy here for whether it's a house or a factory or a country. So, and I think the supply chain might be on and on be more disrupted. And what I like about Palmco, and this is what the judges, they said, that because you're taking local resources and using the local components. So you're local, living in the UAE, you're using local resources, and you're creating a way into finding a packaging system that is used and can be sourced locally without any disruption. I think disruption is going to be one of our biggest challenges moving forward, and COVID was a big lesson for us into how to more support the local production. And this is, I think, more and more we are going to see a more autonomous approach and more local production going on. Maybe 4D printing, or sorry, 3D printing may become more and more needed in the future. Haytham, coming back to you, I know it's a bit difficult for you to answer because you don't have yet the line to sell and the experience. What do you think is going to be your biggest challenge and worry, let's say, from here up to end of the year?
Our biggest challenge will be the regulation and the legal work frame. Because, farming insects and giving them to just farming insects, there's no legal frame for them. So the only insect that we are used to farm are bees. So even importing the insects, in the UAE, you can import bears, kangaroos, orcs, but you cannot import insects. So we need to work on a legal frame, on a regulation that will allow us to operate. We need also to have a legal frame on how to farm the insects. So in Europe, in the US, in Canada, in Australia, they have that, but not here in the UAE, because we are pioneers in this aspect. So the biggest challenge that we will have in the short term is the regulation and the legal frame. That's why through CovHack, the partnership with the Ministry of Environment is really crucial for us in order to advance in our venture.
Okay, Arwa, what do you see your biggest challenge today? What are your fears? What are your concerns now that you won? You're on the spotlight now, you and your project. I'm not putting pressure on you, but we like to see your project taking place. We like to see you as a role model of young entrepreneurs that they could really deliver. It's good even for us from Innovate for Good perspective, because we would like to inspire and facilitate the growth of the next generation of entrepreneurs. Where do you see your biggest challenge here today? And what do you tell to all the enablers and all the supporters that you have today around you? What is it your biggest fear that since you won the CovHack, it is a concern for you? And where do you see support coming to you?
First of all, it's kind of like we're not sure because we're just getting started, so we're not 100% sure about everything, but we're confident. So that's a good point. So as we proceed forward, we hope to tackle all the problems that we have, like especially that we're inexperienced. I think that's the biggest issue we have. We're very inexperienced. So that's why we want to take people's opinion and their knowledge as much as we can.
So you're saying that you need mentorship alongside your journey, and maybe, so do you have a timeline where you are going to produce your first batch of packages? Did you put a plan yet?
We're hoping like we start with the MVPs like in almost 5 months. We're hoping to start like MVPs.
And how much money you want to raise for you to create the first prototype?
We around $50,000. I think that's how much we counted it.
And what are you doing for that? To who you are working to achieve this 50,000 dirhams?
We're hoping to get investment because we made a website and we made an Instagram page, and we're hoping to reach people like investors and all of.
Javier, since you have friends and family supported you, what do you tell Arwa?
So of course you need like family and friends that are willing to share that money and invest on early stages, which is not usually common unless they are really, really close to you, like your parents. But I will suggest trying to visit angel investors. They are mainly more open to invest in pre-seed or seed rounds to projects that are still on a development stage, and they are usually more friendly than VCs.
So I can tell as well for everyone who's listening to us who are like on Arwa's case, they are still young, they have a very good product, they believe in it, they're confident. As Kirill's experience was as well, Kirill has today about over 10 angel investors who supported him. I think the first thing that Arwa you need to do, you need to think like what Kirill did and what Javier did, and they both have good examples. I don't know if Haitham, you have any investors so far from family, friends?
So we put our own money, and then we had Catalyst that will invest in 190,000K.
Okay. So, but you never approached family and friends to back up on your venture?
We didn't succeed to get, let's say. It's not easy. It's not an easy discussion.
Yeah, but I think here, maybe because the team, you are 5. And I think if each one of you can gather 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 dirham or 10,000 dirham from family, I think you can make a pool of, or you can pull a fund pool. And I think this is going to be a good start for you. And in my view, anyone with like there are a lot of platforms that you can generate fund for. and 2,000, 3,000 dirham, because you need to start thinking it this way. Nobody is going to come and tell you 50,000 dirham, take it, unless somebody really is close, maybe your father, your friend, your brother, somebody is a cousin, somebody who believes in what you're doing. But I believe 50,000 dirham to produce your first batch, I think I would love to see it. And I think we would love as well to help you with that. I mean, we can discuss this separately, Arwa, on how we can help you achieve this goal, because we would love really to see you making it. So maybe we'll have a side discussion with you separately later about how we can do it. Because, you know, the reason why I'm passionate about that, because if we can create a good model with you about how we can have programs like this to help young people create their jobs, and how we can influence friends and family members to join you into building your venture, you're opening up a door of a new future for people like you into, you know what, don't bother whether you're going to have a job after leaving your university or not. Think about maybe you can create it. And especially now, all around the world, young people are facing a very big challenge about finding a job. COVID is making it even more difficult. Already, we had challenges about, because the gap between employment, because we have a big employment gap, especially for the new grads and the young people. Simply because the amount of openings doesn't fulfill the amount of graduates around the world, and economies are not in its best moment. So I don't know the right figures, but I know that in the Middle East and North African region, the unemployment should be somewhere around maybe 40 to 50%, depending on the country, from age group 19 to 25. I think from country to another is different. UAE is much lower, but there are some other parts in the world that is much, much higher. So this is why we are advocating about young people to create their jobs. Don't really think about, I'll finish my university, and the minute I finish, I have my graduation, I'll find a job. During my time was easy. I mean, university degree was automatically a guaranteed job. Today, I don't think you'll have any guarantees when you graduate. So if you start early like you're doing, to build a business as early at this age, and you keep failing and learning, I think by the time you graduate, you're going to open your own business. And I think like what Haytham is doing as a side hustle for him, you can start your side hustle as well for you, and you'll be surprised actually. Everything starts like this: friends, hobby, we're going to have fun, we're going to change the world, whatever you have in mind. And I think you're on the right track. And 50,000 dirham to start your venture, I don't think it's a big thing to worry about. Kirill, what opportunity you see ahead in the food and agriculture industry today?
It's, you know, it's enormous, I would say, because we really need to find a way how to feed 7 billion people on this planet. And if we will find a way how to get food production in every house and make it easy, make it automatic, and get a fresh food everywhere, then it's definitely we will win, and everyone will get additional freedom to live everywhere. Unfortunately, we are only working with vegetables. We do not have seeds of meat. It's another story how to grow meat, but vegetable food we are trying to do.
Okay.
And we see that everyone will still need to eat. You know,
we're happy to take questions from the audience. If anybody has any question for the winners, please use the chat box or the Q&A to give us your questions, and we can directly ask them. In the meantime, there is one question to you, Kirill, is about your innovation. It says, first, is there any metrics on what is the cost per calorie? Number two, is the ambient air recirculated and retreated? Do you add CO2 for the ambient air? And can you clarify the process utilized in your system for strawberry cultivation? The lab school perspective shows that strawberries are potted in a substrate whereas it states aeroponic. These are very technical questions to you. And how do you pollinate the strawberry flowers?
Okay, good questions. Very nice. Actually, question number one, I don't know. We never calculated cost per calories, because it's something very specific. We know cost per per kilogram, etc. We know how many kilograms we can grow in our system. For example, traditional farms can grow something about 2 kilograms of salads, for example, per square meter per month. We can do up to 7. So when normally we are doing about between 4 and 5. Then about air, yes, it's circulating all the time, circulating and cleaning. So we have totally isolated system, no fresh air from outside. And then of course we need CO2 for greens to grow, because they're producing oxygen and eating CO2. There is 2 options. First, most easy option is to deliver CO2 in balance, and then more difficult option is to get it from atmosphere and put it into farm. So we are doing it because we need it. Then about strawberry. Okay, in our lab school, we are doing different methods. So this is exactly school, and we are testing different things: aeroponic, hydroponic. Also, we are going in substrates. So in our website, probably there is picture of for strawberry with substrates. And for pollinating method, we are using people in this school at least. And we are trying bees in our other laboratories, but it's still experimental.
Okay, thank you. There is a question for you, Palmco team. I mean, each one of you can answer maybe. Do you see yourself dropping out of college to pursue this project, or due to the success of the project? I'll start with you, Arwa. What do you answer to this?
Actually, because I'm just a freshman, I never thought of I'll never think about dropping out. I saw that Javier is also like he's a chemical engineer, right? Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, he's a chemical engineer and he has his own business. Like I can do the same thing if I want to. I'm taking a degree in chemistry, and hopefully I want to apply the knowledge that I have from university to our products.
What about you, Shahad?
I truly believe that education is very important. I don't think I would ever drop out of college. And it's true that our idea has a lot of potential, but this doesn't mean that we would leave our degree aside, because you never know what the future holds. What's good for us is that, okay, we're going to have a business as well as a college degree, which this is something powerful, because if something doesn't work out, at least you have a plan B. And this is what's important about all of this situation.
What about you, Samira?
Also, I agree with them. I will never drop out of college. But however, I will apply the knowledge that I'm getting from college and whatever profession I'm going to pursue in this project, because I think learning is inclusive. Everything that we learn, we're going to take advantage of. And we want to also promote an idea that everyone can make a difference. Everyone can come up with an idea to change the world. And that's what we want to promote through social media and through our idea. And I believe that with the support and help of people who are passionate about making a difference, we can see that our idea coming to life and actually helping people.
Amazing. Aisha, are you planning to drop out college to pursue the dream project, or tell us?
I completely agree with what they said about earlier. So I think education is very important to me. So maybe I will study chemical engineering in the university, and then I can apply it to our project, Palmco, and make it maybe even more sustainable. And we can also make it available worldwide, not just in the UAE.
Amazing. What about you, Alice?
And I agree with all of them. And I believe in life we cannot depend on one thing, and we should have two alternatives to depend on. So I believe having a degree and also working on our project, because in the end of the day, we are not aiming to have a business or a company to get a lot of profit. We are aiming to help the people and the environment.
That's good. What about you, Erin?
So I'm not dropping out.
Hi, I'm actually a senior in myself, and hopefully in university I hope to pursue a business or finance and accounting economics degree, so that's where I'm looking at. I definitely think that the knowledge I would gain in that aspect would help develop our idea with PalmCo further. As we see now, the situations are uncertain. The future that we have is definitely uncertain. So to solely depend on one thing is not a good idea. It is definitely advisable to have more alternatives and see what the future holds for us. We're very excited to see that.
So you're telling me here, as I can hear, that you just want to finish your college and then you want to start your entrepreneurial journey. Maybe you will not want to be employed after you finish your college. Maybe you want to build a business that that you always wanted to. So this is a very good thing, and I hope everyone will listen to you today from your age group. You're telling them, I think they can do it. If you can do it, everyone can do it. Not because you're capable or not, because of you didn't even have the idea to build the business first. And then you said, why not, as a pool of nice energies that you want to develop something together. And I think all businesses starts like this. They don't have a big dream, but they love what they're doing, but they have a purpose behind it. And I think I wish you really all the best from our heart, from Innovate for Good team. We are very happy that all of you have won, and we really hope to see your ventures being more and more successful for the good of humanity, societies. As I started earlier, everybody has their fair share of having food. We don't want to see anymore. We are today in 2020 and we still hear about people dying from hunger because lack of food. I hope Kirill, Javier, Arwa team and Haitham and your team, that you all contribute to eradicate hunger as well, because at the end of the day, it's not always about making profit. As Alice is saying, is that we really need to think about how to create a better world, all of us. And now that the food business, Kirill is saying that is going to explode and is going to be made with much more business in the future, I think it's a good place to start. And I wish you all the best, all of you, in your journey. And Innovate for Good will be always there for you throughout the process. And we hope to have more and more young people like you and successful entrepreneurs along the journey. Thank you so much for everybody joining today, and we hope to see you soon. Arwa and the team, we will discuss later about how Innovate for Good can help you build your first prototype. Kirill, anything you want from us will be always ready. Haitham and Javier, you know our numbers. We just need to contact and talk together about how we can bring your dream forward. Okay, thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.